Hello everybody and welcome back to Steve's Gear. And today we're going to take a look at a newer flashlight from Wuben. Now this is the PL01. Wuben was nice enough to send this one out to me about a week ago, so I used it last week at work. And I just want to make a quick overview video about it and kind of tell you about how it went for me, give you some specs, and see if this might be something that will work good for you. Now I did bring the box out here so you can kind of take a look at what it looks like when it will come in the box. It does have a couple specs on the back if you want to pause and read that. We're going to go over some of those here in the video. It does come with a couple accessories in the box. You do get a 2 O-ring replacement for it. You get a Wuben branded lanyard for it if you want to use that. And it comes with a micro USB A to micro USB C charging cable. So, all right. Now taking a look at the light itself here. Now this is a more pen style light, which I've never really owned one. You know, I've had a couple lights that are similar to this one, but this one I think is the best one of the ones I have. And I never used it at work before. But using it this week, I've actually really liked it. Now, it does have a nice pocket clip here, good retention on it, but it is not super tight. So I use like a work shirt that has a big shirt pocket in it. Very easy to get it down into your pocket. It holds in there nice and tight. And I like that it does have a little extra sticking up, so it's easy to pull out of your pocket. You know, if you have a tool belt or, you want to put it in your regular pocket, it does give you that extra to pull out of it since it's a little bit thinner. This one comes in at about 5.3 inches in length, which isn't too bad. I did bring out a Sharpie just to compare it to it. So it's about the length of a Sharpie. And really in diameter, they're fairly similar. The flashlight's a little bit more bigger in diameter, but not by a whole lot. And it's lightweight too. It comes in at 1.59 ounces. Now you do get a single LED in here with a smooth style reflector. It is going to be more of a floody beam. It has a little bit of a hot spot, but it has plenty of flood, which I appreciate when I'm working. I don't like flashlights when I'm working that have a really defined hot spot in them. I do prefer the more floody. Now, this one runs off of a tail switch here. And if you like simple flashlights, this is a good one for you. And this is not overly complicated, no super long modes to figure out. Very easy to use. Quick learning curve on it. So that's another benefit of this flashlight, in my opinion. Now let's take a look at what's powering this flashlight. This is actually a dual powered flashlight. It does have the little O-ring there you can replace if you need to. And it is IP68 water resistant, so if it gets wet or something like that, you'll be okay. Now, I've never seen this style battery before. It's 600 milliamp hours. It's a 10,880 series battery. Now, to charge this, you actually have to take the battery out, and you actually just plug the battery in itself. You plug your USB-C in there, and it does have a little charging indicator up here that will light up red when it's charging and turn up green when it's done. But if this is dead or you don't want to use this, this will also operate off of 2 AAA batteries. That's kind of a neat feature. You know, if you're out somewhere, like if I'm traveling on the road that day and this thing runs out, I can just use 2 AAAs, throw them in here, and I'm good to go for probably the rest of the day. So that's a nice feature to have. Battery life for me has been pretty good, really. I use flashlights quite a bit when I'm working, and I get about 2 days out of use out of this. Now, my use case is probably more than some people's. You may get a month or 2 months out of something like this, just using it occasionally. You know, if you're just using it around the house or an occasional light to work on a vehicle or something, you're going to get quite a bit of battery life out of it. Now, operating this is, like I said, is very easy. It's basically 1 click to turn it on, and then you half click to cycle through your modes. So you get 4 modes on this. So the first mode is the moonlight mode, which comes in at 1 lumen. And then you cycle up to the low mode, which is 50 lumens. Medium mode is 150, and then you get 650 lumens on high. And you can see it does have that little bit of a hot spot, but it's not super defined. It does have plenty of spillover on it. And the farther you back up, the more that hot spot will, kind of expand out, which is what I prefer when I'm working. And 650 lumens is pretty good of a flashlight this size. Now it will throttle down to about 150 after a little bit, and you will notice the end getting a little bit warm. It doesn't get hot, but it does get warm. So it has good thermal management. It throttles itself back as it needs to. So I appreciate that. But overall, using this for the week, I was actually thoroughly impressed. Typically I use flashlights for work that are around, 11 to 1200 lumens. And while sometimes I do need a little bit more juice than this actually came in handy for me pretty much all the time. I did appreciate the slimmer form factor of it. Very easy to grip if I got gloves or I got something going on. If it's something I'm holding in my hand, I can hold 2 things at once a lot of times with this. If I'm working on something, I can kind of slip it between my fingers. And I have appreciated the thinness of it and the lightweight. So it surprised me. You know, I wasn't thinking this is going to be something I was really going to like, but I really have actually liked it. And like I said earlier, being someone who uses a light on their hat a lot of times throughout the day just to stay kind of hands-free, it's nice to have something lightweight. Some of the flashlights I've used in the past have been kind of heavy, and you do notice them after using them for an hour or so. You do kind of notice that extra weight on the front of your hat. So yeah, that's just kind of a quick overview of this one. You know, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Now, this flashlight does come in at a pretty good price. Right now, it's like $24.99 on Amazon, and you can use a 20% discount code on there also, or it has a 20% coupon. If you want, I'm going to leave a discount code in the description if you want to buy it off the actual website, and that discount code is going to be good for 20% off the website. So take a look, whatever place you decide you want to buy it from or which one works better for you, you can use those. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for checking this out with me, and I'll talk to y'all later.